I can do it. All right, everybody, welcome tonight to the Elite iRacing Joint APS Truck Series here at Richmond International Raceway. We have 120 laps here tonight, which is 80 miles. No, that's not right, is it? Yeah, it is. It's 80, no, 90 miles. A quarter-mile track. I can do math. It's not like I'm a college student or anything. It's all good. Yeah, we're here tonight. I'm Justin Krasneski, as always, with Vic Bloom here tonight. A couple of new guys up towards the front of the field, Vic and Marcus Fruchtenicht. I'm going to get that right all night, and Parker Brookfield, who I actually know fairly well from some past stuff on iRacing. But we have like a third of the field made up of Joshuas here tonight. But what are we looking for as a short track battle after a couple weeks of plate tracks and road courses, Vic?
Yeah, I mean, in all honesty, there's always a ton of Joshua's. I mean, just going on to that same subject, there's always a ton of them. It's crazy. It's too many Joshuas. All right, let's go through the starting grid while they're sitting here still. We got Marcus. I'm not going to try to pronounce that last name. If you want to, you
Fruchtenicht.
Okay, and then Chad Frankenfield. See, look, I can pronounce some people's, you can't. Parker Brookfield in third, and Yusuf Gali fourth, and rounding out the top five is Andrew Rucker. Starting side by side with him is the 88 of Joshua L. Adams. Joshua Clark, Jacob Plank. I almost said Joshua Plank. That's because I just kind of expected it. Dallas Myhand and Alex Bell round out the top 10. If you want to go through the rest, you can.
Yeah, Joshua Gordon's going to roll off 11th. Levi Zielinski was quick in practice. We expect him to be good. He's actually going to be one of my picks tonight. He won the super late model race here. He's going to roll off 12th. Joshua Banks, past winner this year back at Eldora. He starts 13th with Joshua Furr. There's, we got one more Joshua left. He's 14th. Kyle Zimmer, 15th. Rusty Capel, 16th. Logan Simmons, 17th. And rounding out the field is our other Joshua Personette in 18th.
Yeah, and then Glenn Bundren, he is not here tonight. Or he was here for practice, but not for qualifying or the race start, apparently.
All right, we got one more pace lap here. So I'm going to ask you this, Vic. Do you think we are going to see a race with long green flag runs and guys saving tires, or do you think we're going to have some short 15-lap mad dashes and maybe some guys self-spinning on the entry of turn one?
I don't know. I don't think there's going to be. I don't think it's going to be too terrible of a race. I do believe these guys are capable of making a long run, but I think to start out with this many trucks, I wouldn't. I think we're going to have 2 early cautions at least, and that's just my prediction. At least 2 early cautions, and then we might have a long run after that, with enough trucks taken out.
Yeah, I know the SWA trucks have practiced long runs. I know Chad Frankenfield, Levi Zielinski, Andrew Rucker practice short runs. Green flag here at Richmond.
Green flag, and you got Marcus out front and Parker Brookfield following him. Chad Frankenfield drops to third. Well, he's going to drop to fourth with Yusuf Gali on his inside.
A 28 and the 13 didn't get off of turn 2 at all. Like I was saying, it seems like the 13 to 28 and a couple other guys were shifting a lot in practice. I don't think that's the way to go, personally, from my experience here. I think you're going to burn those rear tires off of turn 2 specifically and just really get yourself in trouble. And it might be faster in Q-trim, but I think you're really going to hurt yourself long run.
Yeah, I completely agree. So we got a side-by-side battle. We got a side-by-side battle for with the 42 and the 15, but also the 41 and the 97. And that battle figures itself out. And you got the 15 side-by-side with 42 on entry at turn 1. Chad Frankenfield and Yusuf Gali. Yusuf Gali probably going to get the better end of this deal in the longer run.
The other thing I think that we might see here, Vic, as we go on are some comers and goers, even if we don't necessarily have long runs or short runs or anything specific like that, if we just kind of have a race. But, some of these guys I think are just going to be better on the long run. We see Joshua L. Adams pretty much every week be better on the long run, But another one of my picks for tonight, Yusuf Gali, is usually a little better on the short run. So I think that just because you start maybe back where Levi Zielinski started outside the top 10, I think he's good enough to be able to drive up there. It's just whether he has any tires left when he gets there.
Yeah, and as you're talking, though, the 97 just gained 2 positions, one over the 41 and one over the 50. The 50 slid up the racetrack. Side-by-side battle with the 88 and 6. But, yeah, as you're saying, I think there is going to be comers and goers. I do believe that these guys up front might not be the fastest all night long. I mean...
there goes Joshua L. Adams.
He'll save it, kind of. Nope.
big wreck in the back. Unfortunate for those guys. I think that was Jacob Plank that got into the back of him just a little bit on the entry. Missed his turn in just slightly.
Let's see. I believe you're going to be right on this. Going in at 3. Yeah, he just slightly clips him. It wasn't a ton of contact. And everyone except for the 00 avoids it.
Obviously, the 88 got the worst end of that. I don't think it's too terrible.
No, I don't think the 88 got the worst end of that. I think the 00 did, because if you look back, he straight T-boned him. Everybody going to come into pit lane, of course.
Have a split here. Interesting. Not big on that. I would have came to pit road there, I think, especially 10 laps in.
Yeah, we got the 13 still on track, as well as the 15, 6, 23, and 25. That 23's got a different paint scheme this week, doesn't he?
Of course he did. He's trying to throw us off.
I was saying, because it seems like he has a different paint scheme every week, but yeah.
We're speaking of Joshua Personet. I mean, just to bring it up, I know there was a fuel mileage race at Iowa, but I would say that this is probably the track that's most similar on the schedule to Iowa. So, maybe Joshua Personet could have another strong run here tonight. I know he started back at tail end, like I said, 18th, but I think he has a truck that could run top 10 tonight.
Okay. Well, speaking of fuel mileage, he's going to pit the second time by to get
that
extra lap of fuel.
Going to the end. Yeah, so the top 3 are going to stay out here. I think that's a bad call. I think those guys are going to get eaten up here as we go. 2 tires on the 97.
What do you think? 6 laps is enough laps on the tires, though? 6 or was it 5 or 6? It's enough on the tires. I don't think it's enough on the tires for it to make too big of a difference.
I'm not thinking they'll show up right now. I'm thinking a couple laps. As soon as they're not fresh anymore, it evens out, maybe lap 10, 12, 15. But I think if Rowdy Zielinski or Parker Brookfield or Yusuf Ghali can get up through to about second place here in these couple laps after the restart, these other guys are really going to be in trouble because you know as well as anybody on iRacing, it's not that the tires don't wear well; they have incredible wear. They last quite a long time if you take care of them. But those first couple laps, you're going hard every single run. So I think these guys are going to suffer for maybe 5 to 10 laps.
Yeah, you come to think of it, I completely do agree. It's these guys are going to probably get eaten up alive, to be fair about it.
What I'm going to watch, though, is the 97 truck, Levi Zielinski. We were talking about him not having a great qualifying effort. He's going to roll off 4th here on this restart on 2 tires. So I think we're going to be able to tell fairly quickly, especially even just like you said, after about 5-10 laps that we ran there, if 2 tires is going to be a thing. I mean, if he drops dead to the back with these guys on old tires, then you got to get 4 every time. But if he hangs up there, we might see some pit strategies with, 15, 20 to go even that, maybe 2 tires is something that you could think about if you're not in the top 5.
Yeah, but the real question is it too early to be taking 2 tires?
I would say he doesn't have a lot to lose. I mean, he's got a couple of wins. He's got to make up some points, running well in the points. I would just go for it, get some track position.
On the green flag, 13 kind of checked up for a second. That was an odd start. Now you go side by side with the 2 rows behind the leader. Still side by side the 6 and the 15, as well as the 28 and 97.
I think this is helping the 13.
Yeah, I completely do agree. But I mean, here's the thing though: it's still 1, 2, 3 are the guys that have the older tires, the guys that stayed in.
I think they're almost better off. Not that they're going to run side by side, but I think Andrew Rucker is really just holding up the 28 truck right now. I think now that they're clear, 28 is going to go right by him, and it's going to kind of be a hornet's nest, 3 wide actually, with Chad going to the middle. I think that, like we were saying there, I think that old tires is just going to basically be in the way a little bit. Slid up,
Rucker going to fall. Rucker going to fall all the way back now. Probably just doesn't have the speed to be up there like that. Not with old tires, likewise.
Yeah, we'll see what those tires do now. We got 4 fresh tires in the 28 truck and the 42 truck up in 2nd and 4th, so we'll see how they compare to the old tires, the 13, the 15.
Yeah, you got side-by-side battles with the 8 and... I'll hazard to not say it's a side-by-side battle. If they're side-by-side with the 8 and the 6. Probably not much of a battle, considering the 8 has new tires and the 6 doesn't.
Good
I say that, though, Rucker is holding his own.
Yeah, Rucker's running well. I was just going to say that Dallas Mahan's up in 6th spot, started 9th in the 41 truck. We haven't gotten to call his name a lot this season. Haven't seen him full-time like seasons past, but solid run thus far on the 4 tires tonight.
Yeah, and Dallas, I know, actually had a limited practice for this event. He was in the practice early, but he didn't run any laps until late in the session. I think he wanted to practice more in race conditions, which is a completely great idea. Yeah.
Yates just inching ever closer. Parker Brookfield, we talked about earlier. I've known him for a while. Really talented race car driver. We have not seen him here in the Elite Truck Series before, but obviously knows how to get the job done. I think he's going to put some pressure on Marcus here, and it might be in Marcus's best interest at this point, not to race too terribly hard. Last thing you want to do, obviously, Marcus has a fast truck, is get yourself wrecked trying to battle at lap 20 for the race lead.
Yeah, the 7 is falling back right now. I'm just watching him, and completely falling back. But the 36 and the 8 are side by side. Now it's the 6 and the 8. Nope, the 8 will clear into the middle of those two. But yeah, as you're saying, Parker Brookfield is catching the 13, and but yeah, I think like you're saying, it might be smart just for the 13 to almost move over. Like, I know you want to lead as many laps as possible, but you don't want to kill your tires trying to race them.
And weirdly enough, some tracks you'll see where, like a mile and a half, your worn tires, you won't be able to get into the corner as well. Here at Richmond, it's usually, especially we'll see here off of turn 2, 28 can just gas up so much harder, so much straighter than the 13 can, and, we'll make a little bit of time off the corner just with that turn off the corner rather than, being able to drive in deeper or anything, as we got another yellow back in the back.
I believe it's Personette.
I think it was off turn 2.
Yeah, but it's Personette off the 2.
I think he hit anything,
he got
did he?
loose on entry. No, he didn't hit. I don't know.
I think he's okay. Good save.
Loose. Yeah, he kept it off the wall, and yeah.
Didn't lose a lap. He just wants more fuel.
Mm-hmm. Let's see if this 13 stays out again. And he's not going to.
I would expect everybody to come to pit road this time.
Yeah, I completely agree. Joseph Costello says he wanted to race, but he had homework.
Story of my life, Costello.
I mean, I thought there was another reason you couldn't race.
Comment.
Not calling anybody out, but Did the 88 stay out? The 88 stayed out.
Might have. I think he's just getting a lap back though on the way around or something.
No. He's damage fixed. Oh yeah. Okay. I see it now. Well, he defeated the purpose of getting that because now he's not. I'm not done. I'm sorry. I can't maths.
Oh, you're right. The 8 truck did stay out. I thought you were talking about Josh Adams, but
no,
yeah,
the 88. The 88 did stay out. The 8 did pit. He pitted.
I think the 88 was going to try to get a wave around.
Well, I think the 8 took 2 tires because he had a 10-second pit stop, and everybody else had at least 15 seconds.
Again, I like it. I'm not gonna lie. We saw, it was the 97 truck get 2 tires and hang around about 5th place from restarting on the outside even. So, from the lead it might work. I'm not sure he's gonna be able to hold off these fast trucks like the 13, 28, and the 15 and so on. But I mean, even if he, ends up around 5th, 6th, 7th, I think that's a net gain. It's early in the race, still got 100 laps to go. I like the call.
Yeah, I agree. It's real good. Josh Adams still in the pit lane, the 40-second pit stop.
He's getting that damage fixed. He talked to me earlier. He just said he had a little bit of damage on the left side of that truck from getting hit by Joshua Furr on that first crash.
First quash? With a W?
Quash.
Quash is it Wabbit hunting season 2?
Go away, Vic. No, good to see Joshua Gordon up front, though. We saw him up front earlier in the year at Daytona, and then he kind of disappeared for a few weeks. But, regardless of how it's coming on some pit strategy, good to see him up front.
Did he disappear? I thought he's been in every race.
He missed a couple of races. Has he? Maybe I'm just nuts.
I think he's been in every race. He's just been a midfielder.
Me too. Back for the win.
I remember the one race you did this year.
And, well, thanks, Chad. Rest in peace, all of us. Speaking of that, Vic, I have a little bit of news. I talked to Chad. Nothing's official yet, but I think that we are going to be back next season for the Xfinity Series.
Yeah, I know in practice he had stated that all the races were broadcasted for next season, and that was news to me. So
I was going to say, that's fantastic news, but he should have told us.
It's okay. I'm not complaining.
Yeah, I'm glad to be back. Of course, I love doing this with you. We get to see some great racing every week, a lot of great trucks, and we're going to have a couple of different field shakeups next season with some different drivers coming and leaving. I know ahead of time a couple of SWA drivers leaving, a couple more are coming in that I've spoken with for next season. A lot of people are excited.
I heard a birdie told me some people were leaving, but the flag is back out. The 8 trucks leading.
It was a great jump by the inside line. All 3 of those inside trucks are going to clear the 13. Joshua Banks with a big move on the inside. Chad Frankenfield.
Also on the inside, he's got his nose still to the inside of the 13 as well, that Red Bull truck. The 13 will clear him, though.
Comes 28. Fresh tires for the win. Probably not much of a contest here.
Was it fresh tires or is it talent?
I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, the 8 truck was probably
not knocking on Joshua Gordon.
Not knocking on Joshua Gordon, but obviously Parker Brookfield's an outstanding talent here and has a great truck tonight, and is just obviously going to run all over these guys, especially with any kind of tire advantage. That's an easy one. It's the same with Yusuf Ghali and Marcus fucking nicked. I can do it. I promise. Spinner in the back there. I think it might have been the 6 truck.
It is the 6 truck. The 6 truck is sideways on the racetrack. Let's take a look back at what happened and we can see what happened. I think
Dallas.
The 41. Yeah, the 41 just. Honestly, that was a complete accident because he came down just slightly on Dallas's nose, and Dallas just had nowhere to go. It's fair enough to both of them. I bet anything he heard clear. I bet anything. Because it did that thing where like your front, somebody's front bumper is right, like barely at the rear end, and it tells you clear, and it's definitely not clear. Because in these trucks, the slightest amount of contact can just spin you around.
Bet you we see some trucks stay out here.
I think that's like a good call. Too. And as we said, I think everybody's staying out.
All the fakes.
I believe the first truck on pit road is going to be the 9 of Capel. And then
the so you picked what? You picked 2 cautions right away early?
Yeah. I said there
were 2. This is our third one?
Yeah. That's okay. They didn't happen quite as fast as I thought they were going to happen. I honestly was expecting like 2-3 lap runs and then cautions. So they didn't happen quite as quick as I was anticipating. Yeah. But still, not a long run.
Still time.
Absolutely. And yes, I said that on purpose before you asked me.
Absolutely. Everybody drink. 8 more days, Vic Bloom. Justin Crizzle's going to be 21 years old. Going to show up for these with some intoxication.
I mean, that's fine. It'll just make for a better time.
Who's in first?
It'll make for an entertaining broadcast, I'm sure. I'm sure everybody will love that.
We're entertaining already, man.
Right, like I love the way that we broadcast. It's not super serious. I think of it as just watching a race with a friend, man. Like if you can't, if you don't watch a broadcast and enjoy that, I don't know what you're doing.
I mean, we're trying to cover all the action, of course, as always. But I mean, we're just looking at what we see and reporting on it as well. Just having a chat about what's going on in the race, and I think that's the best way to do it. I love when people have fun with it, but I mean, at some point, I also don't like really when they're all serious and trying to make it like the real life broadcast. Like, we're not real life. We don't have that kind of talent. We don't have that kind of funding. We don't have that kind of experience. And I mean, we're just doing what we can do with what we got and trying to make it fun.
It's true. It's true. But if people want to try to give us that kind of funding, they can always donate to my fucking PayPal. Oops.
Yeah, this is true. I mean, if you want to sign us up for some extra bonus income,
you can send them my PayPal.
It's all good. $100, we will definitely make some really nice graphics and make it look just like Fox and NBC. $100 minimum donation required.
$100 minimum? No, I don't really care. I don't. I'm just kidding with people donating, but it's what it is.
Oh man, all these cautions are making me sleepy, man. We need to get something rolling here. Also, while I'm thinking of it, Vic, today is Cyber Monday. Is that correct?
Today is Cyber Monday, yes.
iRacing Black Friday codes, I believe they expire today. While you're at it, pick up iRacing for 50% off new members, 30% off if you're returning your existing member for another renewal. Get there, join us.
That sounded like some cult-like stuff, to be honest. Join us.
Join us. Join us, we can convert you to the Frankenfield ways.
Yeah, we can bring you into the dark side. The dark side being SWA, of course.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you know, all those black trucks with the green tint, dark side. Ooh.
Not
what like I meant. Batman.
Not what I meant, but fair enough. Fair game.
All right, I think we're getting a restart here. Yes, we are. Cool beans.
28.
And there goes Brookfield.
The 42 actually kind of kept its own on the top side.
Yeah, that's the first time I was going to say. I mean, the bottom line still rode pretty good. That's the first time the top lane hasn't lost like 2 or 3 spots, and I think the 42 is probably going to clear the 8 on corner exit with those fresh tires. Yes, he will.
Side by side with the 8 and the 13. So side by side in the back, but it's not quite relevant.
Wow, Vic's deciding who's relevant. That's a...
Well, okay, is a battle for last place relevant, Justin?
Yeah, they think so. They don't want to run 18th.
Well, I think I know who just spun out.
Logan Simmons.
The battle, I was literally just like, yeah, they're irrelevant. It's okay. No, I would have caught this live. He got clipped by the 23 ever so slightly, just like the 6 and the 41.
A little bit of net code.
Irony that 2715 sim racing trucks get involved in accidents that are almost identical.
I think that one was, a little bit of net code from the 23 truck there.
Mm-hmm. That was exactly the same thing that happened with.
Winder said it was a little bit of net code, and I agree from the view we just had up here that was just, one of those things. So, Yusuf thought about it.
Actually, we're gonna bring in Mr. Oh, what's his name? Chris. The joint APS guy. I don't remember his last name.
Hey, Chris.
There's Chris. Hi, Chris.
Chris, what's up?
What's going on, guys?
What's up, buddy?
All right. How are you?
I'm all right. You got any feedback, or is it clear?
Pretty good to me. Are you good, Vic?
Yeah, it's good. Sounds good. It's all good.
Yeah. Oh, I hear a little feedback. Hold on.
Hey, he broke everything. Get rid of him. He's out of here.
He sponsors the series. I'm not kicking him out of anything.
Come on, whatever we want. This is our event.
Exactly.
Sponsor schmonzer.
I'll be back. Hold on.
All right. All right, let's see. I think we had 10 trucks stay out? 9 trucks stay out.
Yeah, it was 9.
10 trucks stayed out because Gordon came off 10th and Marcus came off 11th.
Not 36 of 120. Jeez, I felt like it was a lot farther into this. I thought we were at least 50 in.
Those first 15, 20, 25 laps there went pretty quickly, and we've had a couple of 1 or 2 lap runs here on restarts, and it's just kind of slowed the pace a little bit.
I thought we were like 50 laps in, not even gonna lie. I was like, oh, we'll look up. I'm like, no, we're 36 in. Darn.
I mean, we're just past a quarter distance here, still plenty of time. See some pit strategy. We've had some guys move up like Banksy. We've had some guys move back like Joshua L. Adams. So we're having a good little race so far. I think these guys will all like a little bit of green flag racing, see what some tire saving can do around this 3/4 mile D-shaped oval. But I think it's a pretty good race so far.
I think that's the oddest way to describe an oval, by the way. D-shaped.
D-shaped oval?
D-shaped.
What's this D-shaped? Seriously, you know what else is D-shaped?
God. Yeah, I do. I have a general idea.
incorrect. If you cut a cereal bowl in half, it's like a half moon shape. That's a D shape. D-shape oval.
You can't see it, but I just face palmed so hard.
Didn't hear it either, so we're okay still. Face palm. That's what you get when you hire Wisconsin people to do something important.
It's true. It's true. I don't think they.
Go live.
I don't think they deem this as important. Let's be honest here.
I do. I take it pretty seriously, but I'm gonna give everybody a fair warning. Don't come to Wisconsin right now. It's about what, 15 degrees?
It's cold. It's too damn cold.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, I went outside earlier and it was so cold. I was so also, living near a river doesn't quite help. The air is even colder.
His mistake was going outside.
Yeah.
Inside
Well,
that race.
look, the sun was out. Okay, I was like, the sun's out for the first time in 3 freaking days. Let me go outside. That was a bad idea. It was cold.
It's the playground.
They were. I looked at the temperature. I was like, it's 20 degrees. The sun's out. It's gonna be warm. No. Green flag's back up to 28. Gets a good jump. Oh god.
Jump for him again. The SWA trucks are going to try to battle for second place here with Banksy and Yusuf Ghali, and Plank's going to go up there and join them with Chad Frankenfield.
I gotta ask, why doesn't Jacob Plank run an SWA paint scheme?
Don't have any paints made for the development drivers yet. We're working on that. Our man Jesse Pierce decides to take vacations every 5 days, and we haven't gotten any of that stuff done yet. But
I
will have one.
was curious. I figured you would know. Oh, the 7 just spun the 41.
I was going to say that 3Y wasn't going to work, I don't think.
All right, I'm back.
Yes, sir. You are back. You actually just missed the caution with the 41-7.
13 just got in the back of the 7 right there and just junked all of them.
So from the angle I was watching, it looked like the 7 just straight went up to the 41. But yeah, you're right. So what happened?
Of course, the 13's on those fresh tires trying to come from the back of the pack, and, just got in there a little bit deeper than Clark did, and unfortunately ran over the back of him.
Yeah, what a caution thing.
What a caution. That was a big one, though. That was probably the biggest wreck we've seen all night, like, as far as, like, seriousness.
That was a pretty good one. I think it's like we've been saying on these restarts, you get everybody stacked up, a little bit impatient. It only takes one little mistake or miss your entry a little bit or get a little free and slide up into a guy or slide through a guy or, flip endlessly over and over like Vic Bloom. I mean, it doesn't take very much around this place.
I hate you.
You guys got a copy on me?
I do.
I got you, bud.
Okay.
Miss Vic, I will roll in one of the races for you.
Please.
See, I got on the schedule, I got Atlanta, Watkins Glen, Circuit of the Americas, and the Roval. I'm going to roll at the Roval, going back onto the banking for you,
What are you
and still win the
racing
race.
Circuit at the Americas for?
Road racing.
Well, I mean, like, what series, pal?
Series.
What series? God, what series goes there?
Xfinity Series, Elite. We're going. Did you not look at the schedule?
No, I didn't.
Oh, yeah, we're going to frickin'
Coda. Cool. No, I haven't looked at the schedule. Whoops.
Yeah, we'll have to get our man K9 Kino in here to broadcast with you, and I will be reminding everybody.
Or we can get Joseph Costello.
What if you guys need some more funding?
We told him, man. I was like, we need like $500, and then we can make it better than NBC.
It's probably true, to be fair.
Let me tell you, maybe we can up the funding. I mean, I'm happy with what you guys are doing.
Man, I appreciate it.
Having fun?
Yeah, we were trying our best to, provide good coverage for all this stuff, and make it fun for the people, but still, make sure they get to see a good race and understand what's going on. So.
I'm pretty impressed. I'm impressed with the product you guys are putting out. It's pretty good. I got to be honest with you.
Thanks.
We're here. We've been renewed for a season, so that's a first for the Elite Racing League on iRacing. So making progress.
It's true.
Yep. Next thing is raises.
Whoa. More
You
money.
mean I get to make more than $175 an hour?
Yes, we're gonna have to do something about that.
Right, Chad, get on it.
He makes more than that. I just want the record to show he makes more.
Your people call my people.
Everybody buy a credit card.
It's true. Do it.
Kind of uneventful tonight with not a lot of green flag laps, huh?
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
what
I was
makes it
just.
that's what makes it most eventful. I don't know. What you're
Well,
talking
yeah, I mean, I think that we're at that weird point of the race.
Well,
I think Andrew Rucker.
Vic is right. Eventful, but not a lot of racing going on here.
That's
Yeah,
fine. That's fine.
Right, that
what I
weird
want to see is I want to see a Daytona quality wreck, like I
Oh.
want all the field.
All right, how about this? Parker Brookfield gets taken out by Chad, and Joshua Gordon. Everybody from there on back gets taken out, and we leave Banksy, Planksy, and Bell left to fight it
Okay,
out.
let's be real here. Chad's not gonna intentionally take anybody out. It's just gonna happen.
Still owe Chad one from. Do you remember the street stock race at Phoenix?
Yeah. Do you
I'm gonna
remember?
kill Chad.
Do you remember street stocks at the Charlotte Legends Oval?
Oh,
Yeah, I still owe you one from there too.
I don't recall.
Oh,
about
yeah, you don't, do you?
Payback.
You don't recall, do you?
No, didn't happen.
You totally didn't dump me on the last lap.
Chris doesn't remember. No.
Yeah, I don't recall that.
28 going.
Yeah.
I recall it. I still have a
What's
picture
the
of it.
23 doing tonight? Anything?
The 23 is in a different paint scheme and it's confusing.
Okay.
We keep looking for him and missing him.
It's like, it's not that it doesn't stick out, it's just not normal. Like, he's normally in a different colored paint scheme. It's just different.
Oh,
not that,
Plank almost
I'm
got in the
completely
jack right there.
opposed to people running different schemes. I love it.
I think we should have hired Vic tonight to run the APS truck.
It's true.
I agree. Let's get Vic back on track. Oh, there goes Rowdy up in the fence hard, but I think he's going to save it. I mean, he bounced off the wall, but he didn't die.
Gosh, Levi just has no luck. I
He
feel
got
like
points
this is a
lead,
recurring
so-
thing. We say this all the time. It's just no luck. I mean, the
He
man
got the
can't win a
points lead, so
championship
he
in
could have
three
a bad
wide.
week.
Can't win a championship in three wide. Can't have a clean race. Can't not get walled.
Comes Joshua Banks, the first truck we've really seen be able to challenge Parker Brookfield here over a couple laps.
They're about to go three wide. No, they aren't.
On 5 wide, send it. Come on.
The 42, 8, and 18 are trying to make it three wide, but it's not quite working.
Quit taking out SWA trucks, Yusuf. It's every week. I'm pretty proud of Yusuf. You know, we've seen that he's had some issues on track before, but he's put in a lot of practice the last couple of weeks. Been ready to rock these last couple of weeks. I know last week started on the front row, blanked out, and then Brian obviously had his troubles. But I mean, all the guys, I'm proud of all the SWA guys. But I think the whole field as a whole, from the beginning of the season where we saw some of these guys to where they are now, we've seen a lot better product of racing throughout the field. I think.
I completely agree. 100%.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, you said it.
To concur
Everybody
with that.
drink.
Everybody drink. There you go. That's the drinking word, Chris. Is absolutely. Are we gonna drink some Crown Royal?
Yes,
I
we're
think
gonna
we
drink.
might have
We're gonna drink Crown Royal Black and eat Joint APS.
to.
I don't know what that would taste like,
I
but
don't
I
know
don't
how
think it
we-
tastes very
yeah,
delicious.
It's the elite continental meal.
Oh Lord.
Brookville's been pretty dominant here.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
telling
his
Vic
debut.
before. Yeah, I was telling Vic that I have actually known Parker Brookfield for a little while from iRacing. I think when he first joined iRacing, it was sometime early this year or late last year, and the SWA team actually saw him and he fixed at Michigan over the summer and tried to recruit him. I forget if he was on a team with like Chris Carroll or somebody, but he was already on a team. But he's definitely a great talent and has found speed quickly in his little time on iRacing, and obviously he's showing it here tonight with us.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's good though. I mean, I think if we get guys there that caliber, even if they run really well week in and week out, like we've seen from myself and some other people in the past, I mean, I think that elevates everybody else a little bit to try to, you know, go out there and find a little bit more in themselves. And, you know, like I said, we see a little bit better racing as a whole.
I couldn't agree more. I'm watching Frankenfield right now. He's not gaining very much on Banks.
The 13 truck is in the pit lane. Don't know what happened, but the 13 truck is not on the track.
I think he stopped to get some Crown Royal.
Maybe some Red Bull.
Yep, that could be. Yeah, it looks like Chad's kind of struggling to try and catch the 36.
Yeah, and behind him though, Yusuf is kind of struggling to catch Chad as well with the 50 all over the back end of the 42.
Yeah, he's struggling. Chad's definitely struggling to try and get anything.
Yeah, sorry, I had to step away. I got a noise complaint. Yeah.
That's how you know he lives in a college dorm.
That's how you know I live in a college dorm. Yeah, but anyways, I was talking earlier. I think that Chad, I figured he would struggle on some couple guys on maybe a long run if we got a 15-20 lap run. I know Chad usually tries to focus on those fast laps and start up front and keep track position. But you see right now, I think basically these front two guys are going to settle in amongst themselves. Unfortunately, I think that the 88 just parked it for the night. But, these front two guys are clearly classes of the field right now.
Absolutely. I mean, Chad is just not running good laps. If you look, he's falling off on the second place car of Banks.
I mean, he's still probably beating everybody else, maybe about a tenth a lap, but you're right, he's losing maybe a half a tenth or more of the front two every lap, so it's kind of splitting everybody up from like third on back.
Absolutely.
He's running he definitely isn't running near the fastest laps. The cars behind him are quicker. Just looking at timing and scoring, his laps are not quite as quick.
I'm curious if we see Banksy, if he can get up on the 28 truck, which these guys saves a little bit better tires. We're about to cross over halfway in this race. Neither of these guys have stopped the last two times, so we're going to see if one of them is a little better at tire saving or whether they try to move their line around a little bit. I know Banksy's run a ton of laps this week. I'm sure Parker has, and he knows what's going on, obviously, but then on top of that, actually, while I'm thinking of it, we'll see if, the guys like Yusuf, Alex Bell, Joshua Gordon that stopped that last time make ground in another 20 laps into this run.
Yeah, the leaders are actually coming up on the 41 of Dallas Myhand. Quite off the pace. And Dallas got
That's Myhand iRacing YouTube channel.
Yeah. All those logos on that truck were made by me, for the record.
It really hurt the exit for Banksy right there off of turn 2. Like I was saying, you really got to have that forward bite off of turn 2 to be able to get off there straight. And it was just on the exit, none he did wrong for pulling out of the way. It's just when you're down on power, you can't really get out of the way like that. And unfortunately cost Banksy a truck length or two.
Yeah, it looked like it cost maybe 2 tenths.
If you look, Brookfield's pulling away from Banks now. I mean, he's just gained 2 tenths on him. I mean, that guy's running some serious laps.
He's very, very talented. I'm not at all surprised to see him running up front. Like I said, I've seen him in B-Fixed at Michigan and some other places that are tricky racetracks, certainly probably more tricky than a place like this, and performed very, very well, very quick learner. So as this race goes on, I'm sure he's picking up little notes, finding his groove, and just, making sure he does the same thing every lap and not make any mistakes. Not at all surprised to see him running very, very competitively. Reminds me a little bit of somebody else, Vic. Reminds me a little bit of somebody else, Parker Brookfield.
No. I don't
No, I'm not naming any names, but, runs very well, learns a lot, doesn't make mistakes. Somebody we've seen pretty well here in the Elite.
Oh, did that guy happen to drive a Chevrolet Silverado, possibly with the number 4 on the door?
Yeah, Jesse Pierce, the same guy I was thinking.
Yeah, Jesse Pierce, the guy that flew up. He went for a flight at Eldora, that guy.
we were talking about that post race, and he was like, "Yeah, I just had nowhere to go." When Trevin Roby and Brian Long got together, it was like, "I'm gonna go straight into the fence and into the sky. Like, there's no other option."
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, Chad better watch out. He's gonna have Yusuf coming in his rearview mirror here real soon.
Yeah, he's fallen over a second since the last time we spoke about him. He's fallen over a second from the guys in front of him. And
Yusuf's making really good time on those tires. I'm kind of surprised, actually, that nobody's going with Yusuf. I know Yusuf is pretty good here, but he's pulled over a second and some change back to Alex Bell and the rest of those guys that pitted. So, I'm kind of surprised.
Well, right now, Chad's running the 5th quick times. So, the 2 guys behind him are quicker, lap time-wise. Still quicker lap time-wise.
I think the damage on 97 must be pretty significant.
Yeah, I think so as well. It does look like Levi is running slower lap times.
Because I know obviously he was very fast, as quick as in practice, and won the super late model race.
He's running quicker than Alex Bell is running lap time wise. Levi.
Well, I mean, if nothing else, he just doesn't have the track position anymore. It's so tough to pass here, especially when you're that far back. I mean, he's basically a half a track behind the front two, so you can't really just make that up on a long run even. So.
Well, fastest lap that time by was the 11th place number 7 truck. That's
Joshua Clark.
Quite odd. What's weird though? I did notice you were talking about teams and Parker Brookfield, the guy that's leading, right? If you look at the 7 truck, it's the same truck. It's literally the same truck.
Interesting.
Something interesting I'm noticing and is that with Yusuf pushing Frankenfield, it's causing Chad to either run down Banks a little bit or Banks is slowing up just a touch.
Right, they've kind of stabilized at third place on the lap times wise, and I think that Yusuf's probably still a little better than Chad, but I worry about Chad if he's just going to have enough for these last 50 laps as far as the front tires are concerned. I think he's still going to hang on the third or fourth. Obviously, Chad is a multiple-time elite champion in some other series, and obviously always runs well on iRacing, and is still learning some of this tire wear stuff on iRacing. But I think that you're right. It's if he can hold on the fourth or fifth on this long run, I think it'll be a good day for him points-wise, especially with Rowdy not running as well. But I think that the tires are going to play a big factor for those front three.
While you're speaking of tires, I should note something that looking at timing and scoring, Chad's only made one pit stop, whereas opposed to Yusuf has made 3.
I think Chad stayed out those first 2 yellows and then stayed out the last 2. I think Yusuf has pitted on basically every single one of them. But
well, Yusuf's pitted 3 times. The first 2 have pitted 2 times. Chad's pitted only once. Also, the guys behind Yusuf, Alex Bell and Rucker have pitted 3 times. Joshua Person has pitted 7 times.
we've had 4 or 5 cautions, so yeah, I guess that makes sense for Joshua Personette. He's coming in getting extra fuel. I think fuel mileage is probably out the window because we had a yellow right around lap 40. That's well in the window here, about a 90 to 100 laps. So I think they're plenty good on that front. But
yeah, we're
just to be safe.
Within 50 to go now. 47 laps left. In this, not really any side-by-side battles, but this battle for third, Yusuf Ghali definitely heating up with Chad Frankenfield. As I say,
it just about got to the outside. There might have been a little contact there.
He touched it.
Yeah, he looks a lot stronger in 1 and 2, Yusuf.
Looks stronger in 3 and 4 despite hitting the walls out of 1 and 2.
I think Chad's going to give them the bottom right here. No sense in holding them up, especially if, maybe you run behind them and learn a little something if you get a late restart. Not really a whole lot to gain fighting them for third spot right now. Chad's just going to fall behind on the entry of turn 3.
No, maybe I was right. Maybe it just wasn't right about the number of cautions that we'd have early, because this is a long run.
This is what we were looking for. I mean, like I said, I think some of those guys are going to rise to the top, being Brookfield, Banksy, Yusuf, and I think we could throw Levi in there, obviously, and have that damage. But I think some of these guys are struggling. Some people like Joshua Personette, who isn't the best as far as the long runs go, or a Chad Frankenfield or a Kyle Zimmer. But I'm actually surprised that Logan Simmons isn't running a little better. I know he has a little bit of damage maybe from that spin with the net code with the 7 truck and the 23 truck, but I was kind of expecting him, Vic, as a little bit of an underdog tonight. But I think that I like Logan Simmons on this type of racetrack. I'm surprised he's not running up towards the front more.
I'm going to fault it on not enough practice. Also, the 42 just got wicked loose out of 4.
Just probably burned the rear tires up trying to get from that pit stop up to third again. Just got to make sure he hangs on here because he is faster than Chad is.
Well, actually, Chad's quicker, lap time-wise.
Yeah. I think Alex might close in on both of those guys. Alex is usually pretty good on the short track on the long run. I know in the Road to Pro race here, Alex actually had some kind of connection issue and unfortunately wasn't able to finish after running the top 10. So I'm sure he's looking for some redemption at this place. And Rucker too. Rucker's hanging back in 6th, so he's still got a shot to get up in the top 5.
Alex Bell actually just ran the quickest lap of all the drivers on the track currently with a 22.440. It's not quickest lap of the race, but he's running quickest times out there at the moment.
Upster. I will see if they can get around Dallas here this time without any ill effects for either of the front 2. Gonna hurt Brookfield a little bit off of 4 that time. Banksy almost runs in the back of the 41, but they get through. Might have hurt Parker about a car length there off of turn 4, trying to get around.
Full 10. Say that though, they're gonna catch another truck that looks identical.
Wow, Banksy pretty much got almost within 2/10 shaved off there.
Yeah, it was
catching Brookfield.
A little more blinking for Banksy. We saw this Eldora. Oh, yep. I think Banksy might throughput right here. Unfortunately, his ping just went to 600 and the qual just went to 80.
That's not what we want to be seeing.
Or a Vic.
He's back. It's just at least he's maintaining the gap. I guess is not gaining anything. They're not.
It might reset itself. Ping is still high, but we saw this Eldora with the connection issues that might lag him through somewhere. So we got to keep an eye on that. But I think it might have calmed down enough here.
That does look like that's what happened.
Good Simmons is fighting the leader right here. I'm not sure about that one entirely, but
stubborn.
I think Parker's not very happy about that one on the radio.
Yeah, I'd like to hear that one.
Either radioactive.
No, we don't need a radioactive. I
It would just be
disagree.
you and
'Cause
I
I
during
feel like
commercial
I
breaks.
feel like I would be responsible for that. I'm good.
Just be you and me during the commercial breaks complaining about other leagues.
That's true. It's true. I'm not
And
even
that
gonna
Fun
lie.
Trucks crap, they all suck.
Did you just say Fun Truck Super Series?
Fun Truck Super Series, Sunday night, 7 p.m. Eastern,
Okay,
coming
well,
February.
Nope. No. I didn't give you permission to plug.
The whatever Champ Car series that what's-his-face runs on Sunday at
you
some
mean the one
time.
that's dead? That one?
Dead? Really?
That's dead. You didn't know that?
This just in, I've just been issued a memo from the FCC on Vic's use of the F word tonight.
And it's great. I've said it once and I admitted to it.
There will be a fine,
That's
but
awesome.
we'll
Good.
take care of it for you, Vic.
That's great.
Speaking of the F word, actually, I'm thinking about. I heard an anonymous rumor that after the Eldora fiasco, someone on a team that is not SWA or 715 referred to our team owner as Frankenfuck. So I love Chad to death, but I find that quite funny. So Frankenfuck it is.
Oh, Lord. You know, it's funny because as we say that, we're talking about swearing, right? And the only time I was cool with it was after Levi said it. Once Levi said it, I just stopped caring.
Yeah, it's like, well, Levi threw it out the window because I understand he was hot in the heat of the moment, but he kind of threw our whole have a nice day, kids broadcast under the bus. So
It's okay. These are more enjoyable.
it's still being maintained. Nobody's really battling. You're right, Vic. It's kind of the best battle. It's kind of for 6 here between Rucker and Plank, but even that's about 4 or 5 tenths here. So
Yeah, I'd say actually the closest battle is that right now. Actually, Joshua Clark and Joshua Personette are the closest battle on track at the moment.
actually, for a spot in top 10, we talked earlier about Joshua Personette winning at Iowa on some field mileage. I think that, like I said, this is going to be a nice chance for him to get another top 10 finish, but Joshua Clark trying to roll around to his outside and say, screw you guys. Toyota power.
More power.
He's going to roll right around the outside. Good move by the 7 truck there,
Nope,
Joshua Clark.
Not clear yet. Yes, he is.
Yeah, you got him. Are you live?
Yeah, I'm live. I just terrible
Blind?
terrible angle. Terrible angle.
You're blind.
If
Alright, Chris, next week it's
you
you
were
and me.
here, if you were here,
No, next week it's you and me, Chris. He's blind.
I mean, you can go the rest of the broadcast without me if you want.
I was just going to point out to you, though, Vic, that you're 2
I'm just
drivers.
an innocent observer here. Just an innocent observer.
Yeah.
Whatever you say, man. I'm not buying it.
What a conscientious observer.
Hey, your 2 drivers, Vic, have 12x and 16x, so they should stop running into people. That's like something that
I don't
SWA
think
drivers do.
they're running into people. I think it's a lot with the wall.
Stop running into the wall, then the walls don't move.
Well, Logan Simmons doesn't know that. He's used to
Something like-
He's used to driving things where like you can either plow the wall down or if you touch the wall you flip. Okay, there's no in between. These you can plow the walls down, as opposed to IndyCars, which he runs Sunday nights in Classic IndyCar Series, and he can plow the walls down in those, or can't plow the wall, whatever, can't plow the wall down or he flips. It's great.
I think that the elite IndyCar series, you go to Belle Isle, just said nobody survives.
Well, that's dead as well.
I think what'll be interesting here is to get a late caution, bring everything back together. And I mean, I don't think anybody has anything for the 28, but you need to see if some strategies, getting tires.
I agree. I think that the front 2 are probably going to stay this way, even if we get a yellow. The only thing is we haven't really seen necessarily what Banksy can do in a short run out front. Whether Parker makes a mistake on the pin entry or something like that, it's all up in the air. But I think you were talking about tire strategy, Chris. I actually think that this far into a run, 40-plus laps, you got to get 4 tires. I mean, if you don't get 4 tires, even if you get track position, if you make one mistake or slip at all, you're going to get sacked on any old tires like that. So I think you've got to put 4 on and hope for the best at that point.
Oh, you're not going to say. So what you're saying is you're not going to be Logan Simmons at Kansas.
I would love it. Come on, Simmons. Let's do it. I mean, you're going to get the lucky dog.
Here, Justin, everybody's coming in.
Yeah,
I think we should see. Yeah, I think everybody would pit, and I think everybody, for the most part, would get 2 tires. I don't think that 2 tires is going to, get 4 tires. I don't think that 2 tires is going to, make up the difference, especially 40 or 50 laps in this run like it would be if we got a yellow right now. I think that for the 15 or 20 laps we'd have left, I think you'd be out to lunch, basically, as far as the long run goes.
We'll see what happens here. Everybody's running. Is this the longest green flag run of the night?
Oh, yeah, far and away, 50-plus laps, yeah. And nobody's really made any kind of progress. You're right, though. The front 2 guys continue to be the 2 fastest trucks on track. And I know, Chris, you were very impressed with Parker Brookfield on this run, but I think that, credit goes to both these guys because short run, long run, middle of the run, these 2 are consistently the 2 best trucks on track compared to everybody else. They pulled over 6 seconds back to Yusuf Ghali. We don't see that, especially in a place like Richmond where it's technically a short track. I mean, these 2 have got it down pat.
I couldn't say it better myself. I mean, these 2 guys are. I mean, it's consistent laps. If you look at Banks's times, he's keeping a half a second pretty much the whole way for the most part, and that's just consistency.
The only problem is you can't catch him. Even being the same speed doesn't really help him, But
no, it's just amazing that he just keeps it at half a second. That just even gives more credit to Brookfield on how pinpoint accurate he is on the laps he's running.
Yeah, both of these guys not making any mistakes and just pulling away from everybody else.
Yeah, I mean they're gone. I mean, look at that, 5.9 seconds from Yusuf from the lead.
I think that the guy that would like a caution is Chad Frankenfield. We've talked before about the long run struggles that 15 truck sometimes has, but he's definitely among the best on restarts and on short runs. I think he would love to see a 10-lap run, put some tires on, restart in the front 2 rows.
Yeah, you bet that. He'd love a caution here with about 10 to go. Grab 4 new sneakers and go for it.
What else we would love to see is you to get out of here and start racing again. We miss you on track. It's not as fun if you up here. I don't get to talk about you. I don't get to talk about your team. Stuck talking to you the whole time. It's no fun.
Yeah, as horrible as I run sometimes, but I have fun with it. Unfortunately, tonight we were late getting in, paying the bills, as they say, trying to make this race, and I was probably about 20 minutes late. I did the best I could, but we got to pay the bills that makes this happen.
Blue driver got lost.
But I'm glad to have you guys back on for next year. That was good news, real good news.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Obviously, we're looking forward to being back. Of course, if you haven't heard, if you're not familiar with the Elite newsletters or anything that goes around for you viewers, we are switching to the Xfinity car. This is our 2nd and final season in the trucks. It'll be a schedule that follows similarly to the real-life schedule. I know right off the bat we go to places like Daytona, Atlanta, Phoenix, Texas is in there, of course. A couple of road courses as usual. I mean, doesn't love a good road race, but I think for a lot of it, we follow the real schedule, and the season finale is going to be back in a chase format with the season finale race at Iowa. So I'm looking forward to, getting to talk about something a little different. Obviously, the Xfinity cars drive very, very differently to the trucks and race differently, and you have to put a little bit different strategy into it. But it's going to be a little bit of a shake-up. I'm not sure, Chris, you can tell me about how much experience you have in the Xfinity cars here on iRacing, but I'm looking forward to it myself. I don't know about you.
I have not as much as the trucks, but I have been experimenting and testing a lot in the Xfinity, and I do definitely notice a pretty good difference, and it's going to make for some interesting racing, and I think a little bit harder to keep a hold of on some of the long runs, but it's going to be interesting. I know I'm still in discussion with Chad on which tracks we'll definitely be using, but I'm interested to hear everybody's inputs on what they want to see.
I want road courses or Atlanta or Darlington every single week.
Oh, did you say Daytona and Talladega? That's great. I'm glad you said that, Justin.
Yeah, we'll go with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm totally cool if they use the road course at Daytona.
Oh, God,
Yeah.
no. God.
Well, there's at least got to be a fighting chance for me in there. So.
Well, you can run the oval. We'll just
Well,
have the longer lap time.
I think we should just make a rule next year then. How about Chris gets to start a lap ahead of everybody?
Oh,
I like it.
I'll tell you
I
what,
like
Vic, the rain is coming your way.
I want that. That's literally I'm gonna literally talk to Chad about that later. Just giving you a lap advantage on the whole field.
You'd be surprised if I told you that I like to see Charlotte. We have won there in regular iRacing, and we've been really competitive there. So I'd like to stretch my legs there a little bit.
Let's make it happen. You're the boss. I mean, we can't do this without you, and we appreciate it always. So I'm pretty sure you can pull some strings.
Is there anything with iRacing about the Roval?
Yeah, it's coming next update.
It'll be here in 2 weeks.
Okay, so I would probably say, of course, that Chad runs it, but I will push hard for the Roval. I think a lot of guys would like to try that. How about yourselves?
I think on the preliminary schedule, both the normal Charlotte Oval, like you said, and the Roval are on the schedule for next season. I know that. Obviously, I'm looking forward to the Roval being a road racing background here on iRacing, and I'm pretty sure Vic isn't because road courses are scary.
I've actually recently fallen in love with road course racing. It's definitely the most entertaining form of racing I ever can put together for myself. I don't have to be competitive to have fun.
Fair enough.
Okay, I finished in my split. I've at the Petit Le Mans. I finished
there we
second,
go.
So.
We got yellow, guys.
Holy cow!
Oh, Zimmer's blown up.
Zimmer blew up there. Spun in turn 1, I think.
Yeah, you were talking about people getting loose in one, and he overcorrects into the wall.
What time?
That will end the night for the 25.
Well, we're going to have a shootout here, guys. Who do you think pits? Who do you think stays out?
Everybody pits.
I think that Yusuf is going to stay out.
I think Yusuf's going to get eaten alive. He'll have 3 to go.
I think if Yusuf stays out, he gets eaten alive. I think
we've seen this happen in the SLMs, and we've seen how terrible it ended. Okay.
But, I think that, someone staying out might be a little bit of a gamble. But, I mean, for a 2-lap shootout, 3-lap shootout like we're about to have, I think probably 2-lap shootout. If you're not in the points chase like Yusuf, having missed some races, roll the dice. And, if you don't finish well, you don't finish well. It doesn't really hurt you. Roll as far as I can see, though.
This is going to interest you. All the lap cars are pitting. Every last one of them.
I'm actually surprised. I was hoping somebody would stay out. Somebody might get 2 tires, though.
Crazy. It's such a long run. You'd be crazy to do that.
Where's the frickin' Logan Simmons in the field? Let's go. 2 tires.
Well, a lap down is where he's at.
We need somebody to pull a Logan Simmons. Worked well, so,
Do we have a lucky dog contender here that could...
The 97's lucky dog.
Yep, 40 year. 97 was lucky dog on that one. Tires for those front 3 guys. They got off the road awfully quickly.
Yeah. Actually,
top
4 had 9 to 11 second pit stops, so they could be doing 2 tires.
Rucker came out with 2. I think everybody from Yusuf on back. You're right. The front 4, I think, got 2 tires. Yusuf's going to be on.
I'm just guessing
4
off
tires.
The times because Parker Brookfield only spent 9.8 seconds in pit lane. The 2 behind him spent 10 solid seconds, and then Andrew Rucker had just about 12. So, I mean, Rucker could have had 4, but I don't think the top 3 are on.
Yeah, I think we're either going to have a 1 or a 2-lap shootout here, and I'm going to take my bets right now that Banksy runs into the back of the 28 on the restart and kills everybody, and Alex Bell wins.
That's probably going to happen. Honestly, I won't be at all surprised to see the apron full of trucks sideways in turn 1.
Just a junkyard.
Yeah.
What happened with Chad Frankenfield and Rucker? Chad didn't come out that well. Rucker's ahead of him?
Yeah, I think Rucker
got 2 tires, and I think that Chad lost a spot to the 42 because he came in front of the 42.
Chad had a slow stop. Chad had a 16-second stop.
Oh. disappointed. He's got to be really disappointed. I mean, he should be coming out of there third, fourth, and with a shot for a win here on the short run.
I think starting six is
two more seconds than most people had on pit lane.
I think starting six is really going to hurt him here. They're not going to be able to roll very much at all in the outside lane.
I completely agree. I don't see him doing much.
We're going to have a one-lap shootout here, gentlemen.
Is it? I think it might. Yeah, it is going to be one lap, isn't it? Darn. It's going to be like green and white together.
It'd be a green-white checkered.
This is going to be really interesting to see if Banks goes
would
clean.
Would it be a green-white, or would it just be a white checker?
No, they have to throw the green, and as soon as the
Okay,
green's
well,
out, they wave the
thanks,
white.
Captain Obvious.
Well, I mean, it's not a checkered, so.
Well, it could be.
I am terrified.
If they threw the caution out, it would be.
I think everybody dies.
Like I said, junkyard, turn one.
I hate to be that guy, but I think everybody dies.
You guys say that. You talk about the junkyard in turn one. Well, wow. Then you're talking Frankenfield, Yusuf, Rucker, coming through that mess.
Junkyard,
whoever makes it. I think Chris is going to win because everybody else is going to die.
I think, honestly, I won't be at all surprised if the top two are the only two that make it through the corner.
Restart for the 28 truck. That might be key right there.
Yep.
Right, restart.
Oh, wow.
Almost a little bit of bumper
Okay,
tag. Chad's going to go middle.
And
Chad's going to run over the 6 truck there, unfortunately. Rucker's not going to be happy about that one.
What? Oh, there he goes around.
Off a turn. Parker Brookfield's going to win here at
Oh,
Richmond. Good race.
the 15's around.
There they go. Slides across the line.
Oh.
Blank and
They'll finish
Field.
5th, though. Or 6th, maybe. I don't know.
Race still.
And Parker Brookfield wins.
Wow.
You know what's crazy? It's in my timing and scoring screen, it's scoring Logan Simmons as a winner. But on the screen, it's actually not. It's great. See the 28 going up.
He ran a heck of a race.
That's a heck of a race at the end. That long run, it might suck for commentary, but it's great for those guys in the race. You never want to see a ton of cautions.
I'm not real familiar with Parker, but you know what? He really showed me something tonight.
Yeah, I'm hoping we can get in here and have him talk in Discord. I'm not sure if he has a Discord link, but I'm hoping I can get to chat with him because it's been a while since I've gotten to talk to him, and obviously he was a dominant truck on the night, especially after the 13 truck. Especially after the 13 truck went out early with some pit strategy and stuff. I mean, no one really challenged Parker with the exception of Banksy there, and those two guys were going to settle amongst themselves, and obviously the restart won the race.
Yeah, I'm curious to hear what Chad has to say about that pit stop.
Actually, let's take a look at the results while we're waiting to do interviews. You got Parker Brookfield, Joshua Banks, Alex Bell, Yusuf Gali, and Chad Frankenfield around the top 5. You can get the next 5. One of you two. I don't really care who.
Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
Just do it, Justin. Just go.
All right, well, Joshua Gordon's going to finish 6th, Jacob Plank 7th after that contact with Chad. Josh Clark is going to come home 8th, the teammate to Parker Brookfield. Joshua Personette, like we said, good top 10 run. He's going to come home 9th. Salvage day again for Levi Zielinski. Rowdy, he's had a couple of those last couple of weeks, but probably still going to keep the points lead with his strong run at Eldora. Rusty Capo is going to be 11th, Logan Simmons 12th, Andrew Rucker 13th, Kyle Zimmer 14th, Dallas Myhand, unfortunately, is going to finish 15th. Marcus Fruchtenicht, please never come back, Marcus. I can't do that all year. He's going to be 16th. Joshua L. Adams, another poor run, unfortunately, 17th. Joshua Furr went out early. He's going to finish 18th. And like you said, Vic, Len Bundren did not take the the green flag tonight. He's going to run 19th.
Let's see.
So what kind of budget do we have to put together for you
we've
guys?
Got Alex Bell. We'll talk about that after. Alex Bell,
will
bring
check
Alex in here. All right, one of you two can get it. Don't care.
Go ahead, buddy.
Go ahead.
All right, well, Alex Bell, Justin Krasnetsky up in the booth if you got me.
Yes, sir.
All right, well, I mean, interesting race. We had a bunch of cautions, the long green flag run. It seems like you were just hanging out right around 5th spot and put some 2 tires out at the end, try to get a little track position and a solid 3rd place run tonight. Tell me about your night starting 10th and then up 3rd.
Yeah, Great run. I'm really thankful for the long run there all throughout practice and all throughout the practice before the race. I was a long run car. The short runs, I wasn't that great. But, P3, after struggling so much as I did the entire week practicing for this, that's a great run.
Yeah, I mean, we saw, like I said, about you running right around 5th after that, set pit stops for the long run. It seems like you could never really make up ground on Yusuf and Chad and those front two, obviously, but, you weren't really under challenge from behind. Is there anything you would like to see a little bit different in your truck or the weather pattern or anything like that you would have made a little more competitive tonight?
No, most of the stuff was just driver error. I like Richmond. I like short tracks overall, but in terms of short tracks, Richmond's probably my least favorite one. So, I think everything was fine. Just the driver has to get a little bit better.
All right, well, I got to ask you one more question. I know that in the Road to Pro Series, some people are familiar with here on iRacing. Richmond was kind of that track that you hated with a passion, never wanted to see ever again. So how does it feel to come in here tonight and kind of avenge that a little bit with a nice top 5?
Man, it feels good. Like you said, Road to Pro Richmond was a disaster for me, so it feels good to come in here and show that I can still compete sort of.
All right, thanks, Bill. Congrats on top 5, and we'll see you next week. All right, let's see if Banksy's getting here. I'm hoping we can get to talk to Parker. I asked Chad to give him the link, and we'll see if we can get him in here. But let's see what Banksy has to say.
Well, we can't move them both at the same time, pal.
Hey, kill me. Joshua Banks, Justin Krasneski, you got me.
I got you, brother, man.
It was going to be between you and Parker. I know you and I both know Parker pretty well from this past summer as SWA, of course, and you two had pulled away about 6 seconds from everybody else, and I think that if it would have gone green, you probably would have had a little bit of a shot at him, but that one lap restart, as you know, the inside line was just always going to be the place to be. But, a solid second place run tonight, so tell me a little bit about how your night went.
I had some mess ups, and you know me well that when I mess up and I ain't happy about it. But, Parker ran a great race. He ran strong, he was tough to catch. Every time I get to him, he pulled right back away, and it was just tough racing, just trying to catch him, and it was a lot of fun there. My hand is literally dead after all that, so good job, Parker, for making my hand hurt. But overall, great race, a lot of fun. Love this track. Just wish I could have come out top, but hey, coming from 13th to 2nd, can't really complain with that at all.
Something like 3 or 4 top 5s in a row for you here, dating back Eldora, Watkins Glen, obviously again here second place tonight. Another big gain probably in the points. We'll have to check tonight and tomorrow morning on the point standings, but how can you're using this momentum to keep tacking off, even a couple points here and there. Do you have what it takes to catch up at the end of the season as we head towards Gateway?
I'm going to darn try. We'll just have to see how each race goes. Just take it one lap race at a time and just playing things out. Hopefully we can keep getting these top 5s, maybe more wins. That'd be great. Just need to get some bonus points as well, because obviously we didn't get a pole, we didn't lead a lap, we didn't win the race, so that's probably going to hurt. But as long as we can keep getting these top 5s, I think we'll be all right. Just we got to get some laps led, and we got to get some wins. So just have to see how it goes, and hopefully we can come out, keep this consistency going, and we'll see how that goes.
All right, thanks, Banksy. I appreciate you stopping by. We'll see you next week.
All right, buddy. Have a good one.
All right. I'm hoping we can either get Parker or Chad in here and have a little talk, but I'm not seeing Parker. Parker just left the iRacing session. Obviously, Chad's not in here yet, so we're waiting to see if Chad does pop in. I mean, both you guys obviously watch the same race I did. What do you think about tonight? We had a little bit of a couple of messes at the beginning, kind of a slow start until about lap 40 or 45, but then we saw a 50 or 60 lap green flag run, a nice little shootout at the end, and a couple of trucks unfortunately got damage on that last lap. But what do you guys think about tonight's race as a whole?
I mean, I was happy to see the green flag run, and then what more could you ask for watching a race to get a shootout at the end? We were talking about the whole time getting the guys with 4 new tires and see what would happen with the shootout, and we got what we asked for.
I'm sorry, I'm not paying attention. I'm not even going to lie to you.
You're not missing. I was just asking what you thought about the race as a whole. I mean, we kind of had a little bit of a messy start, but then we had a long green run at the end and a little bit of a shootout.
Well, it was a great race. I'm sure everybody enjoyed the long green flag run as far as the drivers go. I think it was a good race. Definitely, one of the better races I've seen.
I was saying before that I wanted to know what it would take to get you guys on video doing the actual commentating.
Goodness gracious.
Of course, there would have to be a budget for like at least a shirt, tie, and a jacket. You guys could still be in your shorts.
Man, I broadcast in pajamas or no pants at all. Okay. Like if it's warm enough, it's no pants at all. Not even gonna lie to you.
I come straight from class, so yeah. Punt on that one, Chris.
Come on, you'll be the next Steve Letarte and
no.
Jeff
Jeez,
Burton.
God no.
So if
we might live like what, 2 hours? Do you think it's about 2 hours, right?
2.5 hours maybe.
2.5. We might live that close, but like I don't think that ever happened.
I mean,
let alone my face. Let alone my
see
face
Vic
on
every
camera.
Monday.
Yeah, seeing Justin every day would just. Oh God, it'd be awful.
We go blind, then we wouldn't be able to do it at all.
You would just see the struggles of doing this with single monitor.
Just one of us in the background just puking the whole time. Just ugh. No. Okay, let's steer this back a little bit. So, yeah.
Gosh.
Great race tonight, obviously, and congrats to Parker Brookfield, his first start of, I hope, many here in the Elite Truck Series with Join APS. And, it was one of those races where, I think the result was kind of determined maybe before the final lap, but then we got a little bit of a shoot-up, but in the end, the same two trucks ended up running first and second. I think that, the next couple of weeks we should look for more of the same. I think if Parker is back, he's going to be competitive. Banksy's always running well. He's on a tear recently these last couple of weeks. Chad's always running well. I think we'll see Levi back. Levi's had some rough luck. But other than that, I think that, we're just kind of at the point where this point of the season, we know the guys that are going to run well basically week in and week out, and we just have to keep looking for them and keep enjoying their, putting on great races each and every week.
Yeah, I want to thank you guys for having me and allowing me to come into the booth and interrupt your flawless broadcasting and give it a little bit of a twist.
Thanks. Like I was going to say, I'll just wrap this up quickly for us, Vic. I think that, you bring a lot to this, and obviously we couldn't do it without you and the things that Join APS and you driving sometimes and coming to see us sometimes, and it makes it fun. We shake it up, and like I said, Vic and I are both super glad that we get to come back next season, do this some more, and I know I'll spend a couple races in the seat, but, I think Vic and I both love being here and being part of the Elite Racing League as drivers in the past and now the broadcasters. We enjoy getting to watch this and enjoy getting to talk about some people that we've raced against for a long time now at this point, and continue to put on good shows and watch great racing, and that's really what this whole iRacing thing is all about in the first place. So I think tonight's been a good show. I appreciate you stopping by, Chris, and as always, Vic Bloom, thank you for doing this. Thank you for putting it on, streaming this, doing the cameras and everything else. So, of course, tonight, the iRacing Truck Series, Elite Truck Series at Richmond. Next week we'll be back same time, Monday night at, what is it, 6 p.m. my time, so 7 p.m. Eastern.
Next week's an all-star race.
Next week's an all-star race. Are we still here? Are we doing that?
You know me. No information. I don't know.
We might be back next week, but if we are back next week, it'll be me, of course, and Vic, and maybe Chris, so who knows. So, of course, for Chris,
is always welcome to join us, always.
Yeah, Chris is always welcome to join us, but of course, I appreciate you guys. So for Chris, for Vic Bloom, and of course I'm Justin Krasneski, we will see you either next week or some other time in the future.